you built this company from scratch, right? You were the first and the only employee, and today you have such a large setup, the best brand in the country, and going global. How did you do this?
When we start any business, we cannot be in a rush.
And I say this from experience. I was fortunate that early enough in my career, I got the experience, the exposure to setting up companies, to setting up businesses. So while I started Wonderchef when I was 40.
Actually, when I was not yet 25, I joined a company called Sodexo in France. Nobody knew it in India, nobody could pronounce the name in India. And I joined them in France, pretty much the first job after campus. And after a couple of months, I convinced them to let me come back to India and see how we can set up the company. So I think my roots of entrepreneurship were laid right back then when I was 25. My key message is to you that there is no early age, early enough to start entrepreneurship. Some of us think that we should make enough money and then we will start entrepreneurship. Some of us think we have to get into entrepreneurship straight after college. I think any route is good. A lot of us become entrepreneurs in our lives, but most of us work for other people, and that's okay. I think the best thing is that even when we work for somebody else, we work in a good job. Every job is good, by the way, we have to make it good. When we work in a job, we have to work in the job like an entrepreneur. And there's even a term for it, it's called intrapreneurship. We are in the job and we are working like an entrepreneur. What does it mean? It does not mean that we get equity necessarily, it does not mean we take risk necessarily, it does not mean that we invest necessarily. What it means is that we take ownership. Entrepreneurship means ownership. So all of you who are either studying or working, either for yourselves or for somebody else, take ownership. Even as a student, one has to take ownership. Because the characteristics that you need to become a successful entrepreneur cannot get developed overnight. One has to groom them year after year, month after month, day upon day. And the roots of that are put in when we are still young, we are still in college or even in school. We take ownership of our actions, we take ownership of our performance, our tests, our homework, everything. When we get to do our first jobs, we must take ownership of our performance. A lot of people get into the cribbing mode. ये job अच्छा नहीं है, मैं गलत फंस गया. They become, rotating doors, revolving doors. They just change from organization to organization. In my 30-year career, I have just worked for 3 companies, and I'm proud of that. And within those companies, I have started multiple businesses. So yes, I have exposure to multiple businesses, but just in 3 companies. Because if you want to do something, if you want to develop something, real ownership lies in contributing to the organization you are working for, whether yours, whether somebody else's. So that is how I started. Journey is never easy. It's step by step. But I don't think my journey started 10 or 11 years ago when I started Wonderchef. I think it started right in college or right after college when I joined Sodexo, where I took ownership of my actions. And I make sure that whatever I do, I make it successful. And I stick around till the time we are successful as an organization. And I think entrepreneurship was just one more step in that direction, not a